Hello, and welcome to the monthly marketing report for April 2023. Glad you're here. As you know, I'm Bo Evans, and I'm going to be sharing some data from our friends at Keeping Current Matters, as well as some other data that I'd love to share with you too. I'm glad you're here. So first thing I want to share with you is this graph. This is a very important graph, and I'm talking to my realtor friends, my colleagues out there particularly. This is the demand rate graph. It basically says what happens with buyer demand as rates change. And if you'll look here, for most of the year, for most of February, rates were increasing. We got to that 7, there were rumors about 7.5. And this month, in March and part of April, rates have actually fallen enough to where they're getting in the green. Now, what this means is that there should be very good buyer demand over the next little bit. So this is what happens when fixed rates come down a little bit. As we all know, we've probably heard, the sweet spot for us, for people who are involved in real estate, is about 5.5. That means you have very strong buyer demand. And then all we have to do is work on the inventory problems out there. And if you'll look here, you'll see that this follows exactly as it should, the 10-year treasury. If you'll look at the 10-year treasury, it's basically been flat for about the last month, and we don't know what's going to happen with it. But Sam Cater from Freddie Mac, who's the chief economist over there, who's probably a little better at knowing this, what he's saying is that the turbulence in the financial markets is putting significant downward pressure on rates, and that this should benefit borrowers in the short term at least. Now, that's important, but it's really important for us to know this because as realtors, we can't be experts on everything, okay? We're certainly not experts on the secondary mortgage market. I'm not even sure people who are experts on the secondary mortgage market know everything about it. There are certainly people that know more than I do, and most other realtors out there, we know what it is, and that's about it. We're also not experts on banking and what's going on in banking. However, we do read articles, and we see the headlines. We know that financial markets are going through some turbulence right now, and that not just banks, but the stock market and other markets are as well. And so we know that because of this, it is placing a downward pressure on rates. That's good for us, and it may continue as we get through with this. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is home prices. Now, affordability is getting better because of this, because of the mortgage rates, right? Because they come down, and prices we're going to talk about quite a bit, but affordability is made up of three things, and I think we all know this. We could talk about prices a little later on. I will have a video about affordability and what's going on in affordability, and what makes up affordability. Home prices, interest rates, which again are coming down as we can see, and wages. Wages have been basically flat for about the past 10 years, and that's one of the issues here. But let's talk about the first part of this, home prices. Home prices aren't the only thing that need to improve. In fact, a healthy appreciation is a good thing. I mean, particularly if you're an owner, but if you're anticipating being an owner, you always want to have some appreciation. Now, I want to remind you of what was being said not too long ago. This is in Fortune magazine, the middle one, that said there are 210 housing markets that are at risk of losing 15 to 20% of their home prices. That was according to Moody's Analytical. The top article said the Dallas Federal Reserve said that the U.S. housing prices could plunge by 20%. And then CBS News also reported that, twice, so in two different ways. Now, why is this important? Well, it's important for a couple of reasons. There is a coaching organization out there called Rewire, and what they do is they coach people like me and you people in our industry, people in the lending industry, in the home finance industry, on how the brain works. And what they say is that neuroscientists have found that people spend about 90% of their lives using what's known as narrative circuitry rather than direct experience. In other words, they spend about 90% of their lives we spend about 90% of our lives telling us what is happening, okay, based on what's been told to us about what is happening, rather than what we're actually experiencing. So this is fascinating in a lot of ways, but what resonates is if you are told 6, 8, 12 months ago that we're losing 20% of our values and that 210 housing markets are going to lose somewhere between 15 and 10, 20%, you're going to think that real estate is about to crash. And that's just not true. It hasn't happened. It doesn't appear to be happening. If you'll remember, I have told people this. I've told them that for a long time, and now it's bearing out true. Now, so let's look at prices. Okay, what's happened with home prices? Now, again, I think all of us would agree that a healthy appreciation rate is a good thing. We want our homes to go up in value. So if you look at this chart, the U.S. national appreciation rate is 3.8%. Our market is very similar to that. Hopefully, next time we get together, I'll have some new FHFA data to share with you on our market and how we're doing. If you'll note here, of the 20, only 4 of those are losing value, okay? And those are in the West. Okay? They're Portland, San Diego, San Francisco, and Seattle. All the others, the one closest to us, 8.4% in Atlanta. This is year over year. This is 2023 versus January 2022. Now, this data is a couple of months old, but that's just how they release it. So we just have to look at this. And this comes from Case-Shiller and Standard & Poor's. So now, what Selma Haupt, who's with CoreLogic, who's a huge vendor of all kinds of real estate data, she has said that the declines in the West that we just saw there are because of the tech industry slowdown. The tech industry has started laying people off. Some of them are moving from the West Coast, that sort of thing. Also, it has a severe lack of affordability. Home prices are just sky high in these areas. And there have been decades of undersupply, of inventory issues. Now, we've had that in almost every market, but nothing as pronounced as it is out West. So if you look here, this is year over year appreciation. Again, this is from the Federal Housing Finance Authority administration, I'm sorry. And what you'll see here is very healthy appreciation, national rate. This is year over year. So 2023 versus 2022 in January. The national rate of appreciation, 5.3%. If you look in our region, which is the East, South, Central, we've appreciated 7%. That is very healthy. I think if you looked at our market, our local market, Montgomery, and in the statewide market, you would see very, very similar trends. So, in fact, the Alabama Association of Realtors has put out some data that suggests that this is exactly what's happening statewide and in certain local markets. So, what happened to all those headlines that said we'd fall 20%? Well, again, in some markets, we've actually lost some value. This is home price movement. What has happened to home prices month over month, January versus December, January 2023 versus December 2022, and this is appreciation in those top 20 cities. Again, you see Atlanta was flat. Their home prices didn't go up or down. Some have gone up, Boston, Charlotte, the East Coast, Midwest, and then some have have changed negatively, and but they haven't changed that much. I mean, this is 0.6%, 0.1%, 1.1%. That's not 20%, right? So some of that is seasonal. We can rest assured of that. So don't think we're crashing when you see this happening. Now, again, this is month over month price change from January 2023, and you'll see in our region, the East South Central, we've actually lost 0.5%, okay, in that month. Now, again, that's a little disturbing, but it's not 20% either. So just kind of keep that in mind and know that this is traditionally a rather slow time in real estate. So this is from Case Shiller, and these put these two things together. This month over month, you put those two charts together and they seasonally adjust this. And again, we're looking at what home prices have done over the past year. From January 2022 to January 23, they were up 1.6, 1.9, 2%, and now they're down. But it doesn't look like they're down nearly as much as they were up. So if you had a house in January 2022, can't add that up relatively. 1, 2, 4, 6. So it looks like we were up about 3% and down maybe about 2%. So we still had a little bit of a gain. So that's okay. We're okay. All in all, home prices nationally are down 2.6%. There you go. So we were up about 3.5%. Now we're down about 2.6. So you're still ahead of the game. Moody's Analytics repeat sales are down 2% from their peak last July. Okay, that's a little disturbing, but it is also not 20%, 15% as was predicted. Freddie Mac's, their national home price index is down 2.5%. Again, this is just kind of show you, yes, home prices have come down just a little bit, probably needed to from their highs. And this is through February of 2023, according to these three different sources: Black Knight, which is a data firm; Freddie Mac, which is a mortgage secondary mortgage company; and Moody's, which is an analytical firm, a data firm as well. So the good news is that home prices are rather stable. I mean, again, we've lost a little bit. I think we'll probably gain some of that back over as the summer gets closer, to be honest with you. So all in all, we're still doing good, folks. And one of the things that creates is affordability. So that's a good thing for our buyers. They can afford a little bit better, particularly coupled with the interest rates coming down just a little bit. We'd like to see more of that, obviously, but and that may happen. But all in all, we're doing okay. We haven't had doomsday, and I don't think we're going to. So if you've got folks that were looking to buy, or sellers who were worried that we're going to crash, you can assure them that we're not. Anyway, that's all I have. Have a great day. I'll see you soon, I hope. Bye.